Hey, what's happening, everyone? Aaron Jackson here with the Rotation Report. This is a hell of a day we have here, huh? My God. So I guess we might as well just start with the Kevin Warsh nomination for Fed chair. Apparently, he knows Druckenmiller, so that would be him and Bessent that knows Druckenmiller, and they're kind of aligned ideologically. And the idea is they're gonna shave a bunch off the Fed balance sheet. And boy, that's exactly what the U.S. could use. But one analogy I've been using over the years has been this. There's this concept in, I think it's immunotherapy, cancer research, whatever, the cytokine storm. So basically, you can unmask the cancer in the immune system, which that's great. But if you do it, if it works really well and you do it all at once, the toxicity can kill you. Can kill the patient. And so, you gotta work this fine line with like maybe lower rates, and then are we gonna reduce the Fed balance sheet significantly? Well, it's a fine back and forth. And they want the weak dollar because we have to build a bunch of shit, right? We have to bring the manufacturing back, the reindustrialization, all of that. So, we're just gonna be in this ebb and flow for as long as you could foresee. So we want to start with silver. Goddamn. I know I've been talking about 80 and 125 and didn't quite get the 125, but you did get the dip below 80 there. So, 80-ish, 79. These are fib levels out of the base. In the futures, SLV, I don't know, that's probably like 74, something like that. But keep an eye on the future price. That's the deal. One positive surprise is the financials not really lagging like that. Actually didn't even break yesterday's low. Okay, we'll take that. Private equity, not the same deal here. So lower Bollinger Band in play, not really lifting, but this PSP isn't that liquid either. So if it was more liquid, it'd be catching a little bit of a bid here. So you do like to see that. But when you think shrinking the Fed balance sheet, you're thinking shrinking the liquidity. What does that mean? Money tightens up. So was this Ion Q? Interesting. You think about the shit growth, right? The shit growth loses the funding. Maybe this Ion Q. I don't know. I've got Ions. I've been talking to a couple buddies. We've got the Ion Z, whatever the hell that is. Interesting. Fake breakout, and now maybe a top. Is it possible this thing goes to 20? That's kind of interesting. And then the big deal, I think, is the semiconductors, right? You got the circular financing. Now they've been hot. Let's see how these, we've been talking about the various AI/crypto infrastructure. Oh shit. Am I doing it again? I did it again. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, they changed the feature here. My bad. Okay, we might as well run it back. Start from silver. Yeah, 74 area in SLV. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that again. But anyways, that's how it goes. But PSP again breaking down. He looks like a daily head and shoulders top there on the private equity. Don't like to see that. XLF, there it is, holding up way like 1%, 2.5% off of the off that low. And so definitely find that to be a positive. But let's see how our Apollo is doing. You could say it's a bounce, you could say it's an oversold bounce. Blackstone, Doji Day, kind of the trend support around, Bank of America. Let's see. They literally tell you, oh yeah, no, Bank of America's got giant holes in their balance sheet, but we're just covering it up with all the money printing. Yeah, nice little ripper there. Citigroup, is that a bear flag or is it basing over the 50-day? I think it's bear flag just based on that long-term channel. But let's see how Nvidia is doing. King of the off-balance sheet financing for chips. You can make the argument for selling it here that I believe that's the number on the chart. Ooh, Today's high is almost to the penny. The extension out of the base from 24.25. That's interesting. Uh, Would not be surprised to see the selling extend more into stocks next week. But, we'll see. We'll see. And then AMD, they had NVIDIA, AMD, Amazon, all of them, get it in there, funding the OpenAI for another round. They said they want to get OpenAI public later this year. We'll see how the market reacts to that. But SoftBank, interesting, kind of tried to peak above the 50-day moving average yesterday, back below it today. Let's see, CoreWeave. Yeah, that one had a heck of a sell-off, unable to hold above that new 200-day there. So I think the market's kind of trying to reject this here, but time will tell. Just looking at a couple other ones. Yeah, you got Nebius. Remember this guy trying to hold the 50-day moving average? Has puked. Okay, you still have the RSI hanging in there. Look, the numbers are going to be good. We all know the numbers are going to be good. And we saw what they did with SanDisk, right? Like, it's like, okay, everyone knows, it's a chip shortage. It's a memory shortage. Everyone gets it. But, the hedge funds are just levering up, and they gapped it up 20 some odd percent, huh? That's, like, no thank you. Hard pass on that one, I would say. But they tried to do that with the opticals, the fiber components, like your coherent, man. They've been trying to distribute it for the last couple of weeks, and it's just keeps grinding. Yeah, obviously, I think Light, one of them has earnings next week, so they're going to be blockbuster. They're going to be like, wow, we've got so much demand. And it's like, is that economic demand though? Is that, is this just build out overdone? Probably, but like, if you're going to listen to any semi-conference call, they're like, there's more demand. It's falling out of the trees, just endless demand there. And let's see how the SOX is doing. Yeah, you tagged that extension level the other day, but still just, what was that, inside day? So no damage there. Let's look at AAOI, a little optical name. We're watching this little 40 zone. Zoom it out a little bit. Interesting. It looks like it's got some room. I mean, you can see, like, good luck versus 46. Like, you could be setting yourself up for a trap there, but would you really be surprised to see another gap up Monday, given the world does not fall apart? Speaking of world falling apart, look at that. Bitcoin, it's almost up for the day. We got some potential crypto positive headlines coming next week. Solana still refusing to break down, and a little bit of a bullish divergence there. So, I like this this circle. I got let's go. Yeah, let's put some air quotes on that. Get back above this 65. That's a little bit interesting for a trade, but just a trade, right? What else is going on today? Jesus, this silver, huh? Oh, Staples are green. Staples, the top group right there with pharma. Yeah, Staples do not care about any Fed balance sheet expansion. Aerospace, green on the day. Okay, that makes sense because it doesn't matter. We need the aerospace and defense, which, speaking of, ITA, 21 day, kind of a bid there at the 21 day. Let's see about the defense growth, Rocket Lab. Yeah, it's going to take a lot to break that one down. Here's AST Space Mobile. I don't know if this is moving, probably just on like SpaceX. It's my understanding this is like bootleg Starlink. But man, they keep trying to push it higher, and it's got to be very frustrating to like the hedge fund short bros, because you look at the revenue on this thing and you're like, this thing is so ridiculously overvalued. It's not even like best in class. They do have a couple of contracts or whatever, but highly shorted. Yeah, I think eventually this thing rolls over, but hey, let's not be too, aggressive with our thoughts here. market's going to do whatever it wants. I was looking at this OCLO, you want to say Fed balance sheet, going to tighten up. You got to scare everyone out of the shit projects. Well, OCLO is holding the 200-day. So we just keep seeing all these damn kind of growth names near their 200-day. Are they all just going to break down? It's possible. Do we really want to force the issue here? Because for the moment, liquidity is pretty good, right? In real time, liquidity is all right. The one I really am curious about is we've got software getting close to that 88, 89 area. That's real interesting. And then there's app loving. Okay, 200-day test. You got this kind of channel downtrend line. It broke. It failed. Look at that rejection here. Now you can say, hey, that's kind of busted. This is just another one of these busted kind of software charts. You can also just say this 745 to 490 is just sideways, just a nice little range base over the prior base. Which is it? I think the tie has to go to the bulls. But do you feel good about it? There's all sorts of short reports out there about, oh yeah, no, they're just manipulating the numbers and calling it AI, and very believable. I mean, let's be honest. What do they call it? Golden age of fraud. So definitely not going to rule that one out. Let's look at losers. Silver, gold, uranium, mortgage finance. Yeah, rocket. Anybody see what happened on that one? I did not. Was that Trump saying I want higher housing prices? I think that might be what that one is. Base metals. Hey, we've got the base metals outperformance. Let's see how that chart's looking. Base metals relative to precious metals. Look at that. Still hasn't really made any progress, but you can see this could be day one. And oil not barely down on the day. Definitely prefer all the base metals, the construction, the infrastructure type of metals. You got your steel there. My God, when you look at the weekly, though, it has had a hell of a run. And the upside we're looking for was what, 110, 113, something like that. Yeah, 114. So, I mean, you can't be surprised if this is just a top basically everywhere for most assets, right? Except for, of course, maybe the staples. That base on base looks pretty dang good. Kathy Wood, how's Kathy doing? Well, another growth type of name, type of group right there. 200-day test in the uptrend. Very interesting. Not sure what to make of that one. It's just a hell of a deal. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to have I've got a list of these names that are like short candidates. And then you got to have the plan. You got to have the plan in case something happens, something flips overnight, and it just goes the other way. Because, violence is coming. Violence is coming. No doubt about it. And then, own Bitcoin lagging. If you get down to 20, I think 20 or maybe this 19 was the bigger target here. But I don't know. Man, big floor here. Micro strategy trying to bottom. I just think we can do better. And maybe we just lean towards the stable coins, lean towards that that circle idea, even though it's kind of sus, kind of sketchy. Home builders. Okay. Interesting. Trying to bottom at the 50-day here. What do we think? DR Horton. Okay. I mean, 200-day, but do we really like this kind of sloppy formation? No, I think it might just be another scenario where we have more trapped bulls because everyone thinks, well, lower rates will solve the housing problem. And that is just not reality. Let's see. Materials. Okay. Not too bad. How's the trannies looking? Okay. Interesting. Pulling back a little bit. Still like that bigger base, but if you just take the channel line out of it, you're like, oh, a rejection at the 2021 high. I mean, you could see how this thing is in trouble. And, it is a lot. It's just a lot of capacity coming offline, right? It's being driven by the trucking with the capacity, with the immigration crackdowns. The data on that is just pretty wild. So going to be kind of tough here. Rails, if you just, first blush on rails is like, yeah, this thing could roll over pretty aggressively. But I don't know. Let's talk about something more interesting like the OIH. What do we got here? Let's look at Baker Hughes. Dipping, still not really actionable. Solaris. This Solaris is not going. Are we going to have to rescind that buy call there? I don't know. Why is this not going? This should be working better. Even GEV was working this week. Yeah, look at that. It's starting to push higher. So maybe I don't know. There's a huge short interest in the Solaris. But let's look at some more of the AI infrastructure stuff. The VRT, man. I think they've been levering up in this thing. This is just getting that hedge fund flow where they're levering up in the AI type of names, and it just doesn't have the juice anymore, even though we like the structure. Like, it's real nice little base over this prior range here. So I don't know. Not sure we want to go back there until we see some broader signs of washout in the market. Speaking of, let's see what we've got in the old fear ratio. Okay. Middle of the road. So, hey, better than it's been by a lot, right? But not exactly what we want to be seeing either. What's just raw VIX doing here? Wow, raw VIX didn't even pop yesterday's high, but I'll tell you what, after yesterday's close, this is still pretty damn constructive. The VVIX, another inside day. Don't really have much to add there. Obviously, Monday will be big, but I think we like let's pick on some of these quantum names. You got some of this garbage and Rigetti. Like, we've had a nice rally in small caps and growth, and holy shit, the quantum never rallied. So, the 17, 18 area is a little tougher, but you do wonder. And then let's see the Ionic. Yeah. Real chance they take them off and take them out on stretchers there. Oklo. All right, let's see. I've got a whole short bucket I wanted to keep an eye on here. You had the app, TMC. I don't know what's going on with this guy. A lot of hype. Looks like a lot of sellers around here. Let's be honest. Like, rare earths are completely abundant. Can we just say that abundant earth metals? But I don't know. They say MP is trying to do some refining, so I guess we'll keep it on the watch list. But the extent is just about that. And then, yes, more of these crypto AI infra names. Here's Applied Digital. Look at that little fake breakout, losing that prior high also, but it still holds the 21 day. So it's just all the momentum in these names still. But, as soon as that starts to give out, maybe it gets interesting. Iron, yeah, that little congressional insider trade still holding the 21 day. Cypher, actually, this one might be the shit sandwich. You could see could this just be one big bearish consolidation and then plenty of supply over there. 200 day around 10, 11, something like that. Maybe. Carvana. What's going on with this Carvana? So you've got an independent research firm be like, yo, this is a scam. And then you've got JP Morgan be like, no, it's legit. So, I think I'll take the independent research firm over the Western institution, but, trading it, that's a whole other deal. Okay. Yes. Open. My phonetic doppelganger, that Eric Jackson, that son of a bitch. Yeah, just dead. Is it just dead money? I guess you can make the case around 5, but like, dude, just like enough is enough here with the open door. And then I was thinking SMCI, that's pretty garbage, right? Ooh, not really. daily RSI is actually kind of interesting. You got this old floor here. I mean, we'll see when the earnings are, but not the biggest fan either way on that one. Let's look at, let's get into a little more of the defense here. Let's figure out if there's anything in play. The big ones, they just, Northrop Grumman, man, doesn't even, they just had earnings for the most part, these guys, but that business is looking good. All of the governments, it's crazy. They have to get all these other governments approved now to start selling to them. Just everybody across the world is increasing their defense budget. So that's not going away anytime soon. It's kind of like the plain aerospace bull market a few years back when it's like, okay, we know we've got like 5 years of runway here, right? So, you know, you don't need to be in a rush on any of these things. We want to use like market events to, you know, buy the pullbacks. Hexcel, they're like, look, if you think all the commodity prices and you know, the energy costs and all the costs are just going up, you're going to want more carbon fiber. They're lighter, etc. They're stronger. It's just carbon fiber is just the better material. So this is definitely one of the ones on the watch list, although you can see a little bit of distribution, but nothing to be that worried about. RTX, oh my God, do people need missiles? Do people need the missiles? You know, just not buying it here. Let's be real. And then AeroVironment, okay, that was on the watch list into the day. This 290 zone, that was a nice little. I almost wrote a rotation report just for this and a couple other setups, but just didn't like the market spot. This 290, it's a extension out of one of these big ranges. I think it's this range right here. But it really respected that zone before. So definitely keeping an eye on that one. Maybe you do get a little reversal at the 50-day moving average on Monday. The RSI is holding up fine. The 200 days almost there as well. I think it would be probably just a short-term trade. All right, what do we think? Yes, go Blue, beat State. Yes, go Detroit. Got the Red Wings hat. They've been playing well, but it's probably not their year. They need a little bit more. Cop X. Are we buying the dip in Cop X? I don't know. Everyone's just peak debasement here. And, you know, peak commodity prices are only going up, and you can see the administration needs to shake that tree a little bit. Copper at 6, you know, I threw in a late addition, a late edit to the rotation report from yesterday morning for premium subscribers, where we were talking about the copper and the Elon Musk and the Freeport McMoran. Apparently retail is like all in on this. And I know I got a buddy, he's big on silver. He's got the physical silver, and he says somehow he's got physical copper. I don't know. He loves the copper as much as the silver. So I don't know. I think, you know, definitely expect a wash, but man, this is ugly weekly. Is the monthly just as ugly? Probably, huh? Oh, no. Let's see. You know, the thing they do have working for them is all this momentum, right? The arrow, copper, look at these things. You know, wouldn't be surprised if we get bigger washes. Like Southern Copper, my goodness. That thing was up $100. What was that, 40% or so? Something like that. From Thanksgiving to now. So, man, I do like the copper in theory, but I don't know about at the moment. And then one thing that's been standing out is what's going on with the China. Is a problem going to pop up in the China? Couple of these weekly sticks. Look at the FXI. The FXI has been acting a little funky lately. You know, they've got some QE going over there apparently, but it's not really wanting to go higher here. Not at all. China large caps. And then the CQQQ, we've had that big bounce off that awesome little buy spot. It looks all right. I don't know. We could hindsight this thing one day and be like, oh, we should have known to sell around 59, but that would be, that's just one possibility. And then the K web is much different from the CQQQ. And yeah, actually, this makes you go, what the fuck? Baba, let's see. Is it time to sell Baba? I don't know. Looks okay for now. Again, you could be like, in hindsight, well, should have sold up around 180. In hindsight, maybe. Baidu still looks fine. Don't even worry about it yet. Hell, you might even want to buy the dip there. It just depends on how hard are things going to blow up and how hard, because I don't know that we're done with the ramifications of this idea of the cutting off the Fed balance sheet. I've been talking a lot about trust and maybe trust in the system, but also trust that your fraud can continue. And if you're up to some shit, and there's whispers of, Fed balance sheet getting shrunk pretty significantly, you're not waiting. You're selling rips and getting out, right? So, we'll just have to see how that plays out. Let's go BYD, really dig into this China tech a little bit. 50-day moving average, I don't know. You could argue either way. Tencent, you actually could make a case for buying Tencent around here. So, I don't know. Don't want to give up on, leave it for dead. Billy has been looking pretty good lately. Another one you can make the case if you really want to. Just about 5-year highs, just about clearing this whole little range here. Probably not for me. I think I'm sticking with the energy just because, it's, people say it's like the cheapest asset in the market. No one owns it. It's just like with the combination that we've got going on in the market right now, I like the sound of that, right? Probably no one's super levered up on this. Just a nice, safe little hideout, probably negatively correlated to tech, stuff like that. You love that in a time like this. All right. How's that silver bounce going? Okay. Back above 80, 83 still. So no progress, but it's holding where you want it to. I would trade it, but I don't care. I want to enjoy my weekend. Times like these, peace of mind goes a long way, I say. Let's see. Any other shouts to TMO? Oh, my go-to natural gas ETF is none of them. They seem to all be destined to set you up to fail, I would say. I mean, it's my natural gas ETF strategy is hope and pray. But yeah, look at the UNG there. Interesting. I know I've got my heat cranked up. My God, it's like -15 this morning here, and I'm just in the middle of the mitten in Michigan. Absolutely frigid. Let's see. Boyle versus UNG. Okay, they're actually tracking each other, so that's a nice one. But yeah, let's see. CNX was my best guess here. I guess some smart people don't like it. Shout out to Robert. Yeah, I don't know. Nice little structure there. Maybe a cup and handle. Let's see. Antero Resources, another one. EXE, CRK. This one, I believe it's more highly shorted. I know Jason he works with Chart Report. Jason Pers, I think it is, Gold Rush. Chart Report Gold Rush. He's awesome. I know he's a big fan of this one. And so is Jerry Jones. But Jerry Jones has a big stake here, but the way he manages the Cowboys, it's like, all right, maybe we just avoid that one, huh? But, we say, okay, what happened to TMO out of earnings? Let's take a peek here. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that's not looking so great, is it? Nasty reaction. The call, I was listening to this call when I was at the gym, and it was nothing special at all. And you know, I don't like this. I think this could be, it could come back. You know, you got this higher low potentially above, what is that, like a 550 ish, something like that. Yeah, 550 ish. So above 550 or so, you know, it could be all right. It could end up working out, but just the overall now distribution every time over 600 failing, you don't like seeing that at all. I have heard from some of the healthcare people that this is like just an entrenched player, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. But let's take a peek. Where's that? Redraw this little trend line. You know, we like the trend line in terms of cheating on these little breakouts. And yeah, so I'm going to have to say, let's get back over 600. 600. I'm putting an alert in about 610. And then 550. 550, another alert to figure this out, because you could make a case this is not going to do anything. But you don't want to completely write it off yet either, I would say. We're going to save that chart for sure. Oh, message retracted. Let it fly, my man. Let it fly. Come on now. All right. Anything else popping up? Looks like oil's flirting with green. Yeah. XOM reported. Let's look at XOM. Had a nice run lately. Look at that thing go. Look at that thing purr. Oh, man. Okay. Chevron, I think, too. Well, Chevron even better. You know how we know the rally might be getting real is BP might be breaking out. There's this, depending on the charting platform. Yeah, look at this BP. I mean, you know, European energy stock seems kind of like risky business, right? You know, they can't wait to sanction them or punish them somehow. But, you know, pretty interesting one to add to the list here. I just don't know. I mean, I think we've got better ways to do it, like your Canadian names. Yeah, look at Suncor run. Look at that thing. Looking good. Imperial, yeah. Well, honestly, what's up with this there's a little momentum divergence here. I don't like that. When does that report? And by the way, fun fact. Oh, it just reported this morning. So, okay, maybe never mind. Maybe we'll see how next week's close goes. Apparently, the Canadian producers issue dividends every month. That's pretty sweet. Oh, the Fluence RS. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I know. Shout out Wall Street Jesus, the options guy, tracks all the options flows and posts it on Twitter. He's just today, I saw a tweet, you know, talking about how they're adding to exposure. Earnings are Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I don't know. Looks good. It's the best bet I've got for, like, you know, that Baker Hughes. That's just some of the better ones we've got right now. I don't know. Maybe Solaris. Oh, Solaris. Fluence. Yeah. I think Fluence has a nice short interest too. What do we think? What do we got here? 24% shorts in Fluence. Interesting. Yeah. So I don't have any strategy or edge in this thing other than, okay, we're building stuff. We need the battery systems. You know, it's a pretty big, you know, it's a spinoff of Siemens. Siemens spun this one out and merged it with another company, AES, or they combined business units or something to turn it into this thing. I don't know. I have no strategy. I'm long it. You know, if it goes back, if it loses 20, I guess I'm screwed. And then otherwise, just really liking this channel here. You can say, well, no, it's selling off with prior, you know, look at all the selling here above 32, 33. Could it roll over again? Sure. But like, I don't know, just like kind of how I felt about silver when it was like closer to 55, right? It's just like, I don't know, but could nothing to dislike so far. So let's not overthink it, right? What looks like the better buy, IBIT or Biddy? Ooh, I like it. I like it. Let's go look at IBIT. Okay. Support around in the IBIT, clearly. Plenty of support. Let's zoom this daily in. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Definitely trying to front run some news next week. And apparently Warsh likes Bitcoin. So you could just imagine, the trap bros being like, all right, this is my chance to double down. And then here's Biddy. Huh. Yeah, that's a tough one. I could say like, oh, look at this look at this little bull channel breaking out. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I saw some COT data suggested the hedgers are kind of flipping a little more bullish, but damn, I like them both. How is this? No, good question. What do you think? What do you guys think? I mean, I got nothing. I like them both somehow. Like, Solana, gonna cheat on Solana? Oh man. It's like one of these deals where it's like, I don't want to sell these things like Ethereum. You don't want to, you might want to sell a rip. Actually, you might want to sell a rip, but like end of the weekend, man, I don't know. I got nothing. Buying Biddy on the close. I like it. YOLO. Something's about to pop. We just very bullish on aggression picking up. Something's going to pop. It's just a matter of which direction. Let's see. Any other groups we should hit on? Any software? Hey, you guys got any software favorites? It's a lot like the IBIT and the Biddy. Like, actually, app might be my favorite short and my favorite long in software, but like, yeah, good luck squaring that one. Whichever way it's going to break. Palantir losing some ground here, down 3% on the day. Rubric, man, I'll tell you, Rubric. A couple earlier in the week, you're like, okay, maybe there's a little bit of a divergence forming on the daily, and it just keeps bleeding. Clearly, something's going on here. And then the Microsoft, not as bad as you'd think. Now, hey, green on the day. That's a win. That's a win. Twilio, actually, that's a messy one, huh? MongoDB. So I was going to point this out in a recent rotation report. Never got oversold on that pullback, but software is like the worst group. We don't want to be there, but now it gets closer to 89, 88. Maybe it's a little more interesting here. The RSI kind of nice and firm there around 40, despite yesterday's kind of chaos. So it's still refusing to get oversold or get near oversold. If there's one part of software we like, it would be databases. And if we go on the weekly, you can probably, before at least, we could kind of draw this little trend pivot here in Elastic. They're another one, but clearly they're worst in class. But these things also move a lot quarter to quarter. Speaking of that, remember that snowflake quarter? Man, oh man, they really just keep selling this one down. Thought it was going to get back above that 200 day, but I'm not sure there's any. Man, tough. But the weekly RSI is hanging there. And then Cloudflare, man, trying to get optimistic about something here in software. You're like, it's so beaten down. Maybe there's something. There's that Claude hype, which that Claude cowork. I'm about to just throw my whole freaking database in that Claude co-work, and hopefully we can start making some better content. You know, get a little more prolific with it, start doing better. We'll see how that goes. But man, that was, you would think it would sell off around this 215. And if you're looking for a bottom, it would be, you know, something like 180. But that is just, it's sloppy, but the momentum's okay. So keeping an eye on it. Very, don't like the odds, but like, it's a good company. It's a good company, right? All right. What else do we want to hit on? Got a few minutes left before I'm going to bounce. Oh my God. Yes, the RCAT. I think the RCAT might have seen its rally. I think it might be done here. What do you guys think? Yeah. Ain't that how it goes? New highs, thoroughly rejected. Man, I don't know. I mean, you never know when some geopolitical picks back up. That picks back up. You'd think that would, you know, catch a stink bid, red wire, you know, the volume's been great, but it's just sloppy. And then speaking of sloppy, this Ondas, I don't know. This is a hell of a coordinated pump scheme. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but 50-day moving average in play there. Not sure. Kind of thinking it's some sort of sketchy pump scheme. That's why we never talk about it on Rotation Report. But, you know, I think there's a Palantir relationship there somehow. Planet Labs, that's the one. Ooh, 21-day moving average. So, you know, maybe we'll get a 50-day. It is very extended. Definitely, this is the top of the defense tech watch list for me, probably. You know, okay, Rocket Lab kind of inching lower still. Kratos had a hell of a run. You would think like somewhere it would catch a bid. Is it really dead? Is it really just done? Not convinced. Not convinced. But then again, we look at the ASTS, something like this, and you're like, some of these names, it's like, oh, maybe they are just going to rinse pretty hard here. How's the quantum shorts going? How's the Ion Q? Yeah, this might be the best idea I have here. Just a little top breaking down, room to 20. It might be the best fresh one. But then again, look at that. The 40 RSI hanging in there, giving you all the reason to have some pause, all these things. You know, want to be responsible regardless. I don't know. You guys got anything else? See you, Jerry. Have a good weekend, my man. Carpenter. Actually, I wanted to call out this Carpenter. I know I've been a fan of this Carpenter, but kind of looking broken, I think. I think we can say that. Very broken here. Momentum's kind of busted. Looking vulnerable. Maybe it can power through, but I would say odds lower. All right. Let's a good one to close it out. Let's go look at some big tech and just call it. Oh, Tesla. So now Elon's just merging everything together. He's merging X and SpaceX and Tesla all together. And that's just going to be, why the stock's up 5% today. I don't know. Pretty sketchy. Not a fan. Apple, another company mentioning supply shortages in the PCs. And, you know, we had this big 260 level, big spot here. Can it break back above? Good question. But I bet you we're going to have some PC electronic shortages. No doubt about that coming. So, you know, get your computers now, probably. Meta, did you guys see about that probe? There's a probe. They're like something about the WhatsApp being not encrypted so people can check your messages. That seems bad. But yeah, I think that about does it. I don't have too much else. I like, you know, we'll see how the short quantum works and, you know, fading the AI infrastructure. I think there's the hedge funds really just piled into the AI infrastructure trade. And then there's some suggestion that they went the other way on software. So maybe that unwinds, but I just kind of like fading the hedge fund pile in AI infrastructure trade. And, you know, thanks again for you guys coming and hanging out, tuning in, and, you know, hell yeah. Have a good weekend, Kevin. And yeah, you guys have a good one.